Hello friends, welcome to Little Slice on Paradise. My name is Jessica and I am so very glad you are here today. Thanks for joining me. I create videos about knitting to sell at markets, and this week was a little bit different and out of the ordinary. My kids and I and my mom took a trip to Arkansas to go visit my mom's family. It was my grandfather's 88th birthday, and so we flew out to surprise him and spend a week out there with friends and family. So as a knitting business owner, I couldn't really afford to take a complete week off, so I packed a whole suitcase full of yarn and just knit as much as I could on the trip, while also leaving space for just hanging out with family and friends. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy seeing what it's like to knit on vacation, going on the airplane and spending a whole week out of state with kids and with yarn. So thank you for watching. I hope you stick around till the end. If you enjoy this video, I would love it if you would leave a comment and just let me know you're here. I love reading your comments. And hit the like and subscribe button. I would absolutely be over the moon with that. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. All right, friends, it's about 10 o'clock at night, and I thought I would show you real quick what I was able to knit today. We are going out of state this week, and we were supposed to leave in 2 days, but then because of the weather where we're going, we got an email saying things are looking pretty dicey there, and so they moved up our flight a day early to a different airport. Anyways, it's been crazy, but I was able to knit my 5 items, so let's take a look at what I got done. I knit a little baby pumpkin hat. I knit this headband that I just absolutely love. It needs to be blocked, but look at those colors. I love it. So that's an adult size headband. I knit a little baby strawberry hat, and then a bigger kid strawberry hat. And then I knit the same headband, but in cool toned colors. So those are my 5 items for today. And yeah, I've got my bags loaded with yarn to take on my trip, and I'm super excited, and I'm praying and crossing my fingers and toes that they let me take my needles on the plane, because otherwise I'm gonna have to find a yarn shop when I get there. So I am not taking these on my trip, obviously, so I thought I would show you guys now, and then I will update you at the end of the week from my trip and let you know everything I did for the whole week. So that is all I have for you today. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hot Springs, Arkansas has this really cool botanical gardens. It's called Garvin Gardens. And the year that we left, or the year that my son was born, they built this really cool tree house for the kids. And obviously, like, my son was just born, and then we left Arkansas the following year. And so we weren't able to explore it with the kids. So going back and having them climb in the treehouse was so much fun. Next to the treehouse, or the treehouse is in this just like open play area for the kids. And so you'll see there was this waterfall that they could go behind the waterfall in a cave and just be explorers. And my kids just ate it up. They had so much fun playing in the wilderness. You know, to them it's the wilderness, but it's really this beautiful botanical garden. Yeah, you're going out. One day I met up with my girlfriend and we went to a local yarn shop in Hot Springs. It's called Hot Springs Fiber Co. and it's a new one since I've left. I used to work at a yarn shop there, and that yarn shop that I worked at went out of business, and then for a couple years there was no yarn shop until this one opened. So it was fun to get to go check this one out. The owner also dyes her own line, so a lot of the yarns, not a lot, but she had a good selection of her yarns hanging up on the walls, and it was just super interesting to see what they stocked there. Also, you'll see a picture of a sweater. We absolutely fell in love with this sweater, but they did not know the name of it. This one right here. They did not know the name of it or the pattern. So it was, we can't find what it is. So if anybody knows what pattern this is, I would really love to know so I could knit it. But yeah, it was fun to check out the little shop. I bought a skein of Noro and we had a good time. Back at the hotel, we took the kids swimming and let them swim while my mom and I just got to sit and talk, and I got some knitting done. And then, oh my goodness, guys, I hit 50 subscribers. So I know that's not a lot in the YouTube land, but I am just tickled that 50 people want to hear me talk about knitting. So thank you so much if you are a subscriber, and I just wanted to share that milestone with you. We also took the kids to my cousins. They live right on the Washita River. And when my husband and I were living in Arkansas, we used to go floating and canoeing or kayaking on this river. So it was fun to take the kids back to go play in the water. But yeah, they got to splash around and get wet and hunt for crawdads. And it was a super fun time just hanging out. And just like that, it was time to fly home. Hey, so we are finally back from our trip, and I've got the laundry done and I'm settled back in, and I thought I would share with you what I was able to knit on our trip. So we were gone for 8 days, I believe. It was Tuesday to a Wednesday, and I'll show you everything I knit. I have not woven the ends yet, so it's not completely done yet, but I'm still going to show you, and then maybe tonight I'll weave in the ends and get them all tallied up. First, I wanted to show you what I do with my patterns when I'm going on a trip. So most of the patterns I have memorized, but I bring them just in case I forget the stitch count or whatever. But I print them out, and I only print out the page that I need, and then I laminate them. So I'll show you the front side of this. It's a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to show you the back, but this is a new pattern that I bought, and I wanted to try out something different other than my normal hats. So it's the Pam bandana cowl, and I printed out the pattern, laminated it, and that way it doesn't get all wrinkled and torn in travel. So I took that pattern. I took another new pattern, the Primaveral headband. So this was a great stash buster. You'll see I made quite a few of these. They took no time at all, and the pattern was super easy, and it was fun to make, and it was fun to use different color combinations. And then I printed just my notes for the hats that I make. So the strawberry hats, the pumpkin hats. I don't think I did any other fruit hats on this trip, but I had just printed out my notes so that I would have those too, because all of this information is on my computer. But obviously I was not going to be getting out my computer on the airplane just to check a pattern. So that aside, that is one travel hack. If you're knitting and you need to take a pattern, I laminate them. Okay, let's count. Like I said, most of these, I don't think any of them have ends woven in. So be prepared to see a lot of ends. I also, on all of the adult hats, I have not put pom-poms on yet. So I'm not sure which ones I'll add pom-poms or leave them without. I'm kind of thinking I'll leave them without, and then I'll just take pom-poms to my market, and then if people want a pom-pom, they can pick one and I can put it on real quick. So that's an idea. I did find at markets, people either love pom-poms or hate them. And I found that people would say like, oh, I love the hat, but not the pom-pom. And then I would have to explain, you know, like, oh, I can take the pom-pom off. It's not a problem. So I think if I don't put the pom-poms on, then they can have a choice and maybe envision it a little better. I don't know. We'll see. But, okay, hat number 1. Hat number 2. 3. 4. 5. This one's really pretty. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, oh, nope, still going. 11. 12. This one's like super Eastery. So that's 12. Okay, that might be it for the adult hats right now. So number 13. So this is that headband. 13. 14. 15. Okay, here's a bandana. 16. So it's just super basic and super cute. So that was 16. 17. This reminds me of a tulip. 18. Oh, look, this one has ends woven in. Look at that. 18. 19. 20. Another bandana. 21. Another bandana. 22. I think this is the last bandana. 23. Oh, we're getting there. 24. I made a couple of this black and neon. I just kept going until I was out of that color scrap. So that's 24. 25. 26. 27. Oh, this one has ends. 28. Oh my gosh, there's so many strawberry. Wait, hold on. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. Okay. Oh, that's everything from the trip. 35 items. Not too bad. My goal was 5 a day, but I think, what, 35, this comes out to like 4 a day. A little over. 4 times 8 is 32. So yeah, over 4, less than 5 a day. Not too bad for vacation. Some days I had more knitting time than I expected, and some days I didn't have very much at all. We had a great trip. The weather was very bipolar. So a couple of days it was gorgeous. We played in the creek. You will have seen all the footage from that. And then other days it was storming, like the roof was gonna blow off. So it was all very up and down. But we went to a birthday party for my grandpa. So we flew out because it was my grandpa's birthday. And we went to a birthday party at a family member's compound house. And it was about 2 hours away from where my grandpa lives. And originally we'd planned on my mom driving, because she got a rental car for herself, me, and the kids. And we'd planned on her driving. So I was thinking I would get 2 hours there of knitting and 2 hours back, and that would be 4 hours of knitting. But because the weather on the day of the party, it was thunderstorming, it was crazy, I drove. And so there went some knitting time, which was totally fine. I'd rather her not be stressed about driving on the road and me lose some knitting time. I just made up for it later. And then another night, I spent the night at one of my really best friend. She was my best friend when I lived in Arkansas. And then we've stayed best friends ever since we moved out to California We moved out to California about 7 years ago. And so we have just remained friends. This is Cider. But yeah, so Mabel and I spent the night at her house, and as much as we'd planned on knitting, it ended up just talking and laughing and crying and not knitting as much. Fun story. I met my friend, so her name's Missy. I met her because I was working at the yarn shop in Arkansas, and she came in and she said she was looking for yarn to knit a bikini because she was going on a cruise. And as soon as she said that, I was like, I'm gonna be friends with this girl. And we've been friends ever since. So shout out to my friend Missy, and I just think it's hilarious that that's how we met. So yeah, you never know who you're gonna be friends with when you work at the yarn shop. Most of the ladies that came in were older than me, and so they were awesome too. But when this gal came in and said she wanted to knit a bikini, I was like, we have to be friends. So yeah, so we spent the night at her house one night, and yeah, it was just such a good trip and so much fun. And now I have a ton of ends to weave in, but I'm completely happy with how much I was able to knit on the trip. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to end the video here. And I'm so glad that you stuck to the end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were inspired. I hope you were able to knit along as you watched the video of our trip to Arkansas. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.